I apologize for not being in the studio, but at least we're on Zoom, so that's what modern technology is all about. It's nice to be on your program.
Right, and you're resplendently dressed. That's not surprising at all. Welcome. Well, we've got a lot of cricket to talk about this evening, and let's start off with the manager of the West Indies team, Rawle. Congratulations on a very important victory for the West Indies. And before we get into that, I don't think that the studio here is new to you. You in fact did work here at the GBN many years ago. You must have remembered those days.
As I walked into the studio, I saw my colleagues. This is the first job that I had after finishing school.
Yes.
So, this is my home. It changed a lot, but, this is a place that I know very well.
So a lot of people may not know that you were in fact behind the camera. You do know a thing or two, don't you?
Well, yes. My trainer is behind the screen there, Mike Alexis. So we had some fun times together, and I don't think I remember, but the experience was great to be part of it, and it taught me a lot about television and what happens behind the scene.
Okay, so Rawle, first and foremost, congratulations for a well-deserved, well-earned victory. How important was this victory to the West Indies team and to the psyche of the West Indies people?
It's always good to win, and playing at home, it's important that you win at home. This is your home, you've prepared here, your fans are here, everything West Indies cricket are here. So we always want to win at home first. And, England as well, this is a very good opposition for us. As you could see, they have a lot of crowds, and they travel with a large touring party. So it's good that when we play these top-class teams that we win matches. And I'm very proud of the squad and the way that we pulled that victory off yesterday. And, the way that we played the series, we were never outplayed. You understand? The first two games were even, and we thought that both teams were balanced in their squads. So we always felt that with this last game, something had to give, because they put a lot of effort into the first two to go 5 days in both matches to get to be a draw matches. So it's important for West Indies cricket to always win, and we want to bring the fans back into the game, and also to give the players confidence to move up the rankings at the ICC.
All right.
ICC rankings.
So currently, let me go across to you, because of course you did a commentary in the series here in the West Indies. What are some of the positives that you picked up while you were doing commentary in regards to West Indies and the ultimate victory against the Englishmen?
Well, for me personally, looking on from the commentary booth, apart from the excitement to win the game and the series, what I find was very, very positive was the fight that was shown by all the players. The first test in Antigua, the second test in Barbados were some real tough conditions, especially for the bowlers, and they stuck with it. They didn't crumble. They never gave up. And for those two matches, over 10 days, they showed fight, they showed commitment, and the willpower to survive under trying circumstances. So for me, those are some really, really serious positives.
Well, so currently we haven't been seeing that very much in West Indies cricket in recent times. A lot of people have been saying that the West Indies have been folding up, particularly in the batting department, and on some occasions not able to dislodge the opponent. That fighting spirit that we saw exhibited over the last three test matches, what do you think? Maybe it's an unfair question to you, and it's more so for Rawle Lewis, but in your own estimation, what do you think may have attributed to some of that fighting spirit?
Well, it's really difficult to answer that, and you're quite right. The manager is in a better position to answer, but for me, looking on from the outside, I kind of believe, we've always had fighting spirit, because from time to time, we've seen it. We were just a little bit inconsistent in showing it. So we've had it. So I don't know if maybe the coaching staff, or maybe the players keep hearing us on the outside talking about show fight, and they're probably tired of hearing it and decide to do it on a consistent basis. I don't know the extent to it, but you know, for me, it's very refreshing to see that fight showed, like I said, under trying circumstances. And I'm hoping that is a start of good things to come going forward.
Yeah, well, you know, it's often been said that the West Indies, they're coming around the corner, and just as about, you know, seeing them breaking the corner, just seem to go back into a little rut. Have you seen sufficient, Sir Curtly, with the stick-to-itiveness, the doggedness over the last 3 test matches to seem to confirm we might well be coming around the corner?
Well, what I've seen over the 3 test matches, like I said, the commitment, right? The fight, the will to do well. And if you can do those things on a consistent basis, we will win more games, ultimately more series, and we'll move up the ICC ranking. Of course, it's still too early to say we are turning the corner, right? But it's a step in the right direction. And as long as these guys are consistent enough doing what they're doing now or what they've shown over these 3 test matches, then we will see better results, more improvement, and then sooner rather than later, we can start talking about turning the corner.
Rawle, you were traveling obviously with the team. You have a hands-on sort of experience with them collectively as a team and also individually. What are some of these dynamics that you can point out to us that has helped the players and to see them performing the way that they did in these last 3 test matches?
Yeah, I think the consistency in the way that we operate as a unit, it will take time to see progress. We've been very consistent in the way that Phil Simmons and the management team would like the West Indies team to operate, to practice, to prepare, to, you know, the behavior off the field. So we've created our team guidelines. And now that the players are fully aware, all 3 formats, T20, 50 over, and tests, now have those guidelines to operate under. And we have seen changes because we no longer have to look at little things that, you know, sometimes cricketers can, you know, let slip through the crack. They are now so accustomed to the way that the squad should operate that I think that these things are in the past, and they are now focused on developing their game, working hard, training hard. The fitness testing as well it's more rigid these days, that you know, it's more consistent, it's more structured. So I think the guys are really coming into their own and understanding what we need to do to be at the top of international cricket. It's not going to happen overnight, but as long as we continue along that path, I could see in not too distant future that, you know, we'll have a really consistent team and performing well, because the guys are young as well, so they're still learning at that level.
It's not the traditional West Indies team, stroke makers, so to speak. There seem to be just a couple of stroke makers on the West Indies team. We probably will think about Cal Mayers, who is a natural aggressive player. Jermaine Blackwood also is rather naturally aggressive. And we've got some other players, like, of course, Craig Brathwaite, who seemed to be the kind of player that would stay there and fight and battle it on. Then, of course, Borna, who seemed to have similar sort of characteristic. As I say, a little bit untraditional. How does the team, knowing that players in the past tended to be Cavalier and Calypso-like, how did the team now fit into a sort of uncharacteristic sort of mold?
Well, the game is 5 days, and you know, you need people to stay out there and bat. And the balance is very important, because the players that you called it, some are very patient. If you watch Craig Brathwaite in the last game in Barbados, I told him, if the game was playing for 10 days, you never look like you were going to get out, because his concentration is so good. Then you have Bonner, who is similar to Craig. You have Josh De Silva, who is now beginning to come into his own, and he showed that he can bat and bat for long periods. And still you have guys who bat around them, Jason Holder, Kyle Mayers, Jermaine Blackwood. So it is a good balance that you have. And if you look at the best teams in the world, there are people, you know, going back a bit when you have like Adam Gilchrist who would walk at number 7 and he would destroy the bowling. But if you need someone to stay out there and bat for long periods, you still have individuals at the top who can do it. So what I'm seeing now, I'm seeing development, and I'm seeing that the players are becoming comfortable within their role. Mm-hmm. So that's very important as well, that when you walk out there to bat, that you are comfortable with your situation, the position that you play, and how you go about doing it.
Raphel, what do you make of it? Of course, you followed cricket practically all your life, of this present West Indies team. You see future in it? You see the sort of development that you would like?
I think it was very clear that commitment was shown. The team that we saw play in Grenada, in my view, I think that they played as a team, as a unit. That sense of commitment and that desire to fight, to win, I think it was really evident. West Indies would have won that match, not just win it, but won convincingly. And the fighting spirit that we saw, looking at the game, West Indies won 97-7. The last 3 wickets would have put on 200 runs. It tells you something about the fight. You look at Roach, you look at Jason Seals, and you see the bottom half of the West Indies batting, the tail, and the sort of fighting spirit. Nobody really tried to give away the wicket, but they stick and they stayed there. I think that really made a difference in the game in terms of that bottom part of the team, which would have done so well and actually transformed the game.
Rawle, in recent matches we saw where quite a few occasions the West Indies lower order had to come and rescue, so to speak, the top order. Was that a concern that you had coming into this particular series?
No. All the guys are capable. If you ask Jaden Seals, he believed that he can bat any position in that order. Alzarri Joseph, very solid. He scored 90 odd in New Zealand in a test match. So the West Indies lower order is quite capable of scoring big runs. And you look at the way the game is played these days, everyone can bat. So these guys work just as hard on their batting as they do on their bowling. So it's not surprising. And Kima Roach used to be an opening batsman in his early days. So we have a complete 11 guys there who can hold their own.
All right. So Curtly, let me come across to you now, and I just want to peruse a little bit the bowling department for the West Indies. Do you think that, let's look at the final test match, the 3rd test match. What was your thought in terms of the selection of the bowling team? Did you like the bowling setup that you saw?
Well, when I heard the final 11, you know, our pre-match routine, you know, I was asked the same question, and I said initially it would be nice to have a spinner in the lineup. Yes, we all know that Pamal didn't do well in both test matches prior, but I was just saying it would be nice to have a spinner just in the event that is needed. But then I went on to say, when you look at the surface with that nice covering of grass, obviously the captain and the coach would want to go with the extra seamer because of the surface in Myers. And at the same time, apart from his seam bowling, he's a batsman. So it also gives you a longer batting lineup. So I had no problems with it, and it turned out to be a brilliant decision all around.
All right, so let's look at these bowlers. We've got a young upstart, if you want to put it that way, in Jaden Seal. He has a knack for picking up wickets and picking up wickets rather early. How impressed are you with this young man?
Very impressed. I saw him first, obviously, before he made the test team and stuff, you know, and I've always figured, you know, during the under-19 championship and stuff, I've seen him in bits and pieces, and always figured that there's something about him. I mean, he's got the build for a fast bowler. He's tall, looks strong, and he was only a teenager then. And then I had some interaction with him last year at the camp in Antigua. And what impressed me most is that he's always seeking knowledge. You know, we sat down together just about every day and talk cricket, talk fast bowling. So that to me was impressive because he wants to learn. He's only 20. He's still learning the art, still developing, and I believe that he will get stronger. The more he plays, he will get quicker. And I believe in a few years, when Kemar Roach decides to hang up his boots, Jaden Seals and Alzari Joseph will lead the attack for West Indies along with other guys who are waiting in the wings.
We see him predominantly moving the ball away from the right-handed batsman, which I always think is the more lethal delivery than the one coming into the batsman. That obviously is a weapon. What about this ability to bring it back? He did bring it back now and again, but it was not his main weapon. How important it is to do this little bit of variation, take it away, bring it back in? Is it that is going to come on in the process of years?
It certainly will take some time. And as we speak, I heard that he's working, a lot on bringing the ball back into the batsman, the right-hander. Because, as you quite rightly mentioned, his dangerous delivery is the one swinging away from the right-hander. So I understand he's learning and working hard to bring it back. But the thing about it, when he gets better at bringing the ball back into the right-hander, he'll be more dangerous. Why? Because most batsmen expect the ball to shape away from them in terms of the right-hander. So when he do develop that in-swinger a little better, he will be more dangerous and he'll get more wickets as well with that in-swing.
How long does it take you, Sir Curtly, to be able to really develop the art, to bring it back, to move it away? It takes a lot of skill, and it does take some time too, doesn't it?
It does take time. Some guys are fortunate enough to develop that skill very early, comes kind of natural to them. Some of us, it takes a little more time, but it's all about repetition. Once you continue to do it every single day, it will become easier, and then you can just do it without even thinking about it. But it does take time.
Let's look a little at Alzari Joseph. Sometimes you see he seemed to be on the quicker side. There are other times when he just seemed to be line and length, as if maybe at times a little bit uncertain. Should I go all out? Should I not go out? You talk about him playing a very major role in the future of West Indies development. What are some of the things that you, as a former fast bowler, have picked up in regards to his bowling that you think he needs to do?
Well, like I've said to him on a few occasions, and he agreed. But with Alzari, he's naturally an attacking fast bowler, meaning that he looks to take wickets every time he gets a chance to bowl, right? And nothing is wrong with that, because as a bowler or as bowlers, you're looking to take 20 wickets. So nothing's wrong with that. But what I've pointed out to him is there are times when you have to tell yourself, you know what, nothing much is happening for me. So let me try and bowl as tight as possible, build some pressure, bowl maidens, and that will build pressure. The wickets will come eventually. But sometimes what I find with Alzari, when things are not quite going his way, he still keeps trying hard to make it go his way. So what I pointed out to him is that sometimes you can't fight the situations. You have to tell yourself, it is not my day, let me pull back, bowl tight, keep one end nice and tight, and maybe the other bowlers who may be bowling a little better will get the wickets, right? I know every bowler wants to see the wickets in the wickets column, but there's a process to getting wickets, and you have to understand when things are working for you and when things are not. and then you make adjustments. Okay, it's not working, let me keep it tight. Or if it's working, I go for the kill. So that are some of the things that Alzarri and other bowlers will have to understand. But I've seen improvement with Alzarri, and so he will get better. All
right. So we're going to take a quick break now. So Curtly, when we come back from the break, we're going to come back to you because we need to talk a little bit about Kyle Myers and, of course, the most senior of the West Indian pacers in Kemar Roach. We're going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Need a quick, convenient way to pay your bills and avoid lines? Use the online banking feature from Republic Bank, First Caribbean, or Co-op Bank. Contact them today to set up your online banking and enjoy 24-hour convenience to make your bill payments. Stay safe. Grenlec, we are united even when we are apart.
Total is one of the world's largest oil companies with a top quality line of lubricants. Total Lubricants has a full product line from passenger cars, motorcycle, heavy industrial equipment, mining, trucking, agriculture, and manufacturing machines and vehicles. Total Lubricants, winning championships in motorsports, including Formula One and World Rally Championships. Total Lubricants are available at all Rubis service stations, leading automotive shops, and distributed by Huggins.
If there was ever a time to keep and stay healthy, it's now! We at Hills and Valley are here to help you take deliberate steps to maintain your health. We stayed true to maintaining the most comprehensive rates while stocking the widest range of medicines and health devices, including personal protective equipment. There are so many benefits shopping with us. You get great savings through discounts for senior citizens and reward cards for loyal customers. Ask about owning yours today. Visit us at Halifax and Grenville Street, St. George, Jubilee Street opposite the Grenville Bus Terminal, and at Hillsborough, Carriacou. Our wholesale distribution on Halifax Street also stocks the widest range of pharmaceuticals. We are with you on the hills and in the valleys. We are Hills and Valley Pharmacy.
Here is a little known fact. There is only one place in Grenada that you can get an MRI scan done. That place is Speysile Imaging Center. Yes, Grenada, that's the truth. Other centers could offer you other scans, but Speysile Imaging provides an authentic MRI scan. Here's another little known fact. Speysile Imaging has 3 centers. We operate at Grenville, the Carnage, and at the Ocean House, Grandlands. We provide the widest range of laboratory tests and services. CT scans, x-rays, mammograms, ultrasounds, and a host of other services. We are fully staffed by a team of family doctors and specialists. Call us today at 444-7679. or 406-1500, or visit any of our 3 locations. Speysile Imaging, from seeing the doctor to getting lab tests, scans, and pharmacy services. We are here to take care of you.
Let's start the new year on a high, a detox high, because it's detox time again at Nirvana Detox Center, a natural health store. Check out our our many detox packages starting from $100 or get 15% off on colonic irrigation therapy. Detoxing can help with liver and blood cleansing, weight loss, constipation, acid reflux, kidney stones, heavy metal removal, gas and bloating, and more. Call or WhatsApp us on 231-6642, 418-7115, or 449-7753. Ask about our delivery options. Visit us now. Bruce Street Mall, store number 1208, or Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge area. Our opening hours are Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Nirvana Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Detox, your way to health. These specials ends on March 31st or while stocks last.
Your life is yours, your future's in your hands. Your body is yours, that's why you need a plan. You gotta plan your family, avoid HIV, get the education from the Grenada Planned Parenthood Association. We offer STI screening, gender-based violence counseling, prenatal and postnatal checks, injectables, condoms, pap smears, and other sexual reproductive services. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Pointe Street, St. George's. Whether male or female, it doesn't matter. We're here to make your life better. Grenada Planned Parenthood Association. For appointments, call 440-3341.
And welcome back. Of course, we're talking about the greatest sport in the world. Obviously, that goes without saying. It's got to be cricket. So currently, we're going to come right back to you, and then, of course, we'll get some more details, more conversation, of course, with Rawle and Raphel. Let's look at the man with the golden arm, we want to call him that way, that Kyle Mayers. Were you surprised about his performance in this particular match?
No, I wasn't. If we all follow Kyle Mayers' career since he made his when he had that magnificent double 100 on debut and all that. Kyle Mayers, when I joined the CCC a few years ago, Kyle Mayers was around the CCC setup, so was Jason Holder, so was Nkrumah Bonner. So these guys are guys I've worked with at CCC. So Kyle Mayers then was bowling a lot more and could bat as well. And then he had a serious ankle injury, which prevented him from bowling for a while. And that is when his batting developed and he got better. And then he started bowling again. And he's got the knack of getting wickets at crucial times in games. So I wasn't really surprised that he got wickets, right? But so he's that kind of player who will come and give you a couple of wickets at crucial times as well. So I wasn't really surprised. He's got skill. He's not as quick as the other bowlers, but he's got good skills and understand about bowling. So for him, I wasn't surprised.
What it is that he really did right in that final test match?
No, Kyle Mayers realized he hasn't got the kind of pace. So he used variations, right? And he was very consistent in the lengths and the lines that he bowled. He kept it simple, which is always very important for any fast bowler. We kept hitting those areas, which made it difficult for the batsman to score. And because of that, he got his just rewards.
Yeah, and finally in that bowling department, let me ask you a quick question here. The old stalwart in Kemar Roach, he's right up there with some of the elite West Indian fast bowlers. How important do you think he was to this lineup and sort of spearheading the West Indies bowling attack?
Kemar Roach has been spearheading his attack for many years. If you can cast your mind back when he came on the scene first, he was bowling a lot quicker. Had guys on the international circuit cautious, looking at him, that kind of thing. We all remember the little battle he had with Ricky Ponting in Australia. So he was really quick, but then what happened? He had a shoulder injury, few little injuries here and there. So he lost some pace, but still very, very effective. Understands fast bowling and knows how to use his skills to get wickets, right? And he has done that for many years. And I mean, working with Kima, let me tell you, I mean, he's one of the nicest guys you can ever have around to work with. Very respectful. I mean, he's just an easy guy to work with. And I'm happy for his success. And he still got a few years left in the body. And I hope they can go on and get 300 test wickets.
Rawle, you confirm what Curtly Ambrose just said?
Which part of it?
All of them.
Yeah? Yes, most definitely. Kima is he's a good person. He's a leader. He's a natural leader. And, his performances on the field says it all. Off the field, he's very vocal. And he's one guy who is not afraid to express himself. And these type of individuals are very important to any team. And he performs every time he plays. So like Curtly said, Sir Curtly, sorry, like he said, that we hope that he can continue for a few more years and keep West Indies flag flying.
How does he what role does he play? I know he's a senior man, but with that, what does he bring to the team? How do the other fast bowlers look to him for inspiration, for guidance, for overall development? Does he play that important key role in their performance?
Of course. When you have people like that within your team and you have young bowlers like Jaden Seals, Anderson Phillip, Alzari Joseph, when Kima Roach speaks in the team meetings, he goes in depth into his expectations and so on, the surfaces, how he exploit his skills out there, and the guys listen to him. He leads the bowling unit. When Shannon Gabriel was there, both of them would be leading that bowling unit. So now Shannon is not there for now. Kima takes the mantle, and like I said, he's a vocal guy. You listen to him speak, he projects his voice across the room, it fills the room. So he's that type of individual, and he's very assured of himself. So I think the guys have a lot of respect for him, and we are well aware that he is going to be a legend of the game in the Caribbean. So just happy to have him around, and I hope that he remains fit enough so that he can play for a very long time.
Raphel, your thoughts? You think the West Indies, the bowling lineup, you think that we're in good hands here?
Well, I think they should be very pleased with what we saw here. I thought that the bowling was impressive. I think they used the surface wisely. Jaden Seal, in my view, bowled pretty quickly, was able to move the ball quite a bit. And we saw this Alzari Joseph, a great deal of pace. One of the things, as we look at Joseph bowl, he's the sort of bowler that comes at you all the time. A lot of aggression. That goes well for his development in terms of his aggression. And we talk about Kyle Mayers, being able to move the ball, and I think getting the surface that will assist him would help him. I think he was able to do that. He used the surface skillfully and being able to pick up some wickets. I think it was a good move to have him on the team, and I think that was done maybe based on how the wicket looked. And it was a good move, and I think he really took advantage of it and bowled well.
Rawle, I want to talk about a key central figure, in my opinion, who played a fantastic role in the outcome of the match, the West Indies winning that, and turned out to be the man of the match. Now, we're talking about Joshua De Silva here. He's only 23. I think William Murray started at age 24. Jeff Dujan was just about 24 too. So he's coming to fill a role of some good, outstanding former West Indies wicketkeeper batsman. here he played a fantastic role, getting 100. Now, first and foremost, how do you rate that 100 that he scored?
Excellent. In the scheme of things, when we the way Joshua played, I mean, you must have some serious mental capacity to bat like that in a test match. It's the biggest stage that you can ever play on, and he went out there and single-handedly performed that way. I mean, he's that type of individual. He's a fighter. Joshua has good temperament. He's a good person. He has a solid background. He's very knowledgeable. Always willing to listen to someone. If you were to approach Joshua, like I did after the game, when my good friend Junior Murray wanted to meet Joshua. He's similar to me. If I see leg spinners, I always want to meet them. Junior sees wicket keepers, he wants to meet them. So he said, can I meet Joshua? I say, of course you could meet Joshua. And when I told Joshua this, he was just so, where is he? You know, he's ready. He wants to hear what Junior has to say. So Joshua is that type of individual. So I'm not surprised that with the little bit of experience that he now have at international level, he's showing improvement, and he can only get better.
And he can turn his innings up a notch or two. He's not just a dogged character, but he can be a little bit on the positive, aggressive side too.
Well, you saw the last two shots that took him to his 100.
Yes.
You know, that's like, you know, proper white ball cricket shots. You know, play his front leg, punch it down the ground, which was very smart, because with that field setting, you already know what they were going to bowl. So he batted sensibly. He did increase the pace of his innings when he needed to, but overall it was a great innings, and it was really good to watch, and I'm very, very happy for him and for the team that, you know, we creating that balance within the West Indies team, where if you lose early wickets, you know that you have, you know, the guys at the bottom that can come there and bat like this. This is very impressive.
Let's look at him behind the stumps. There were a couple of deliveries, of course, byes that went to the boundary for 4. He didn't seem to be too ruffled even when that happened.
No, well, on that stage, you cannot be ruffled, because, you know, the game is 5 days. You could never play 5 days of cricket without at least making an error. So, you know, that's where the mental toughness comes in. And Joshua is that type of individual. If you're out there, you're exposed, you know, everyone can spot the mistakes. And he knows that, you know, what he have to do, you know, moving forward. You can't look back at the errors. And wicketkeepers do make errors. I couldn't think of one wicketkeeper who don't make errors. So, you know, within the preparation for the game, these are things you prepare for. You may drop a catch in the first over of a 5-day match. What do you do after? You know, it's similar to the match officials and so on. It's similar to everybody who plays the sport. So there are some people who don't handle it as well as others, but I think someone like Joshua, he knows what he have to do. If errors come along, you know, within the break, there are certain routines that, you know, every individual have. And, you know, he's just a guy that can play for a long period of time and manage himself out there.
Is there any former wicketkeeper that plays a major role in his keeping?
Well, I've never asked him that question, but I'm sure he would have been in touch. I mean, Trinidad have David Williams and others who wicket keep at the highest level, and I'm sure as he played cricket in England as well, and also throughout the region, you meet former great wicket keepers. I'm sure Joshua, being the person that he is, would have had conversations with some of them, but I'm not too sure if he have that very, very close relationship with anybody who are former greats of the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Curtly, let me come back to you, and I'm going to go right to the top of the innings. We noticed that, of course, the West Indies opened with left and right combination. John Campbell back into the lineup. What's your thoughts about John? Based upon what you saw in the 3-match series, what's your own assessment?
When you look at John Campbell, right, in every innings he went out there to play, he got starts, right, but just never really went on, right? I still believe that he needs a little more time to continue to develop, and then I believe he looks solid when he's out there. He can play his shot, can be aggressive when he wants to, but I just believe that He just need a good score under his belt, and then that will build his confidence, and we'll see a better player. He's got the start, but just never really carried on. So I believe once he gets that good first score under his belt, we will see a different player altogether. He just needs some time.
Yeah, let's look at the batting lineup. You like the lineup that you see the West Indies using now, or if you were to make any changes, what would you make in terms of the batsman's position?
I don't really have a problem with the batting lineup is going. I've heard people say that Jason Holder shouldn't be batting at number 6. And even in this last test match, he batted ahead of Kyle Mayers. Some people are saying that he should bat after Kyle Mayers and all that. I've heard all that discussion. But quite frankly, Jason Holder is a good enough batsman to bat anyway in that order as far as I'm concerned. Right? You can't be a player, number 1 all-rounder in the world, right, over the last couple of years, score double 100, score hundreds, and can't bat. So I believe it's good enough to bat anywhere. So I don't have any problems with where Jason Holder is batting, whether it's 6 or 7 or 5. I have no issues. It's all about what the team requires and who the captain and coach seems fit to bat in certain positions. All these guys who are playing capable of batting in any position as far as concerned, so I have no issue with it.
All right, just in case you've just joined us, we're talking cricket here this evening, and we've got in our studio here Rawle is the manager of the West Indies team, Raphel Croney, one of our local cricket officials, and so Curtly, of course, joining us by Zoom. Now, Rawle, I'm going to swing right back to you. Let's get right home here to the Spice Isle. Did the players really enjoy themselves here?
We always enjoy ourselves when we come home. I tell you what, it's so refreshing to just sit and listen I am the only Grenadian in the setup, and just to listen to the compliments for the persons that, you know, are in the different areas. You know, we get in touch with a few people on a daily basis here, like the ground staff at the stadium. I'll start with them. To me, one guy, our analyst walked up to me yesterday and said that these guys really care about what they're doing. You know, you look at the little detailed work that goes into the facility and what they do and how it look and the feedback that they request from us. That tells me that they are very much interested in preparing a good facility and a facility that we enjoy. So, you know, they walk up to me all the time and they want feedback from the coaches. They want to know, how did the pitch play? Did you guys like the nets? What about the outfield? You know, and everything like that. So that tells me that the staff at the National Cricket Stadium is very, very, very much interested in giving us a top-class facility, and we were so happy with it. Very happy with the work that they did. And let's shift now to the catering.
Okay,